Good morning. No, actually, it's good afternoon. And welcome to the VZWBuzz chat. I'm saying morning because it has rained all day, and just now the sun started to shine, and so it feels like morning to me, and the end of a really fun week. So I'm here joined by the super awesome Robyn's World, Robyn Wright. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
And we have Marty and Misty in New York City, and they are producing our event. We are so grateful. Today we are not going to do a makeover, but we have posted a link for those of you that would like a phone makeover to apply so that we know a little bit more about what your needs might be, and then we'll invite you on to the following recap next week on Friday. We'll have our next one. And what we'll do is we'll basically ask you about your lifestyle and match you up with the best phone for you. Today we're giving away this amazing Nokia Lumia icon. It's an amazing device. I know Robyn could talk for hours about it, but what I can tell you as a newbie perhaps to Windows phones is not only does it have a beautiful camera, but it has probably the nicest screen you can look at. It's so easy to get in and out of the things that you need. On Android and iPhone, I'm always scrolling through my pages to find what I need. On this phone, they're all like so easy and right there. And so it's kind of like a very easy phone for productivity purposes too. So we're giving that one away. It has a 20 megapixel camera. Did I say that? 20. It's a beast. Takes great pictures. Even for me, not used to taking great pictures, not known for that actually. Okay, so today we're going to just give you a quick recap on apps and how to find them, the best in each category for us, and we've given this a lot of thought, and some tips on how you might want to actually, secure the best ones for you. We are going to pick a winner. Misty's going to pick a winner from all of your questions. So make sure you post on Twitter all of your questions and let us know what you want to know, which apps you want to know about. If there's a term you don't understand that we're using, just please feel free to post your question on Twitter. And actually, out of those questions, we pick the winner. So, okay, I'm going to start with like one of the first questions that I think most people ask, Robyn. So, how do you find them? What is the best way if you have a new phone, or if you're actually maybe switching to a new OS, what's the best way to find great apps?
I would go to your app store. So there's a main app store for all the different devices. For iPhone users, that's going to be the iTunes store. For Windows Phone users, it's the Windows Phone App Store. For Android users, Google Play. Those are the primary ones, and that's where you really need to start.
The most popular, right? Perhaps, too?
Yes, look in. So you're going to find within all of those stores, they're going to have most popular free, most popular paid. They have top lists in different categories, and then there's editors' picks and collections, all different things that they've already pulled together for you to look at. Instead of just browsing kind of wildly, start out with those lists to see what you can find.
And tell me a little bit explain the difference in between the free apps and the paid apps. What are the trade-offs of those two?
Okay, so there are some free apps that are simply free because the developer made it and it was something useful and they wanted to share it and they're just nice. There are a lot of free apps that include in-app advertising. So you will see like little banners or things like that, or the ability to purchase things from within the app. And so the developer makes money that way on it, and that's why the app is offered free initially. Then there are paid apps, and paid apps, a lot of times there's no extra advertising within them, so I like those. But you want to be cautious, because you're spending money on it. Even though the app may only be 99 cents, it adds up quickly if you get a lot of apps. Look for a trial or light version of an app. If you're looking at one that costs money, see if they have the same version that's available for free, to try it for a day or two, see if you really like it, and then you can go ahead and purchase it. And you do have, on Android devices in the Google Play Store, you have a 15-minute return window if you buy an app and don't like it or it doesn't work. For Windows phones, you go in and open a support ticket, and
Okay.
iOS, I'm not sure about.
Okay, great. So there's a way to return an app, but really the cost of an app is so low normally that you may want to trade that up, right? You may want to trade off the fact that you get no ads that drain your battery
Right.
and pay for the app. And so I've always found that that's a really good trade-off for me because I tend to drain my phones all the time of battery. So, okay, one of the questions that we get asked most often is on the recommendations for truly educational apps. So parents out there, moms and dads, caregivers are surrounded by tons of different options for educational apps. And so you can go to the classic PBS, some Disney apps, etc. But I did find Verizon recently launched Verizon Educational Apps, which is how you find them on the Android store and the iOS store, which is a search engine that allows you to find apps by grade and by subject. So check that out. It's called Verizon Educational Apps on both app stores. You have some options free, and then you have some options if you pay $2 a month. What are some of the educational apps that you have found may be useful for kids, say the top 3 that you have found?
Okay, that's a good question for me. So my nephew is 3, and his very favorite app is called Toddler Touch and Drag, and it is so it's using his hands and his fine motor skills and what it is. So that's educational, I think, and he loves this, and that's on Windows Phone. On Android phones, I really like the things like dictionaries and encyclopedias and Wikipedia apps. Those apps are all more all-encompassing, and they can find out a lot in them. I don't have any specific kid apps at the top of my head now that you're asking, of course. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I mean, Khan Academy is one example. Yeah. And then don't dismiss some gaming apps, as Robyn says, that your kids can help develop critical thinking skills using some of those great fun math games. I actually love the some Sudoku apps as well, and there's some easy ones. I'm still on level 1, so you can play around, get used to the idea of some of those logical apps for kids of all ages. But Verizon Educational Tools has really a great choice, and they have it's totally agnostic, right? They don't have any stake on the ground for one app or another. They're just simply formed a panel of experts and said, give us your recommendations, and it's actually pretty interesting how it's come together as a search engine.
Yeah, that's what I like about the Verizon educational apps is they're educators that are pulling these app collections together and telling you what's good about them, what your kids can learn from them. It's a really nice collection.
Yeah, it's true. Okay, now I know that you have been my go-to person for all photography. So there's a lot of great photography apps, and we use our smartphones for photography now, especially now with graduations coming up and such. So what would be your top 3 must-have photography apps?
Okay. Instagram, which is a social one, but I love sharing my pictures on Instagram, so that's a great one. I would say Photor, F-O-T-O-R, is one of my favorites for editing. Nokia Refocus is amazing. And then there are also a couple of them that let you, Pixay Pro is another one, and there are some that are, if you look and it'll say like Insta Square, Squaregram, things like that. It has some combination of Instagram and Square in it, or no crop, and that lets you, when you take those the wider pictures and you don't want to crop it into a square like Instagram forces you to, it'll just add a band on top and bottom or side and side and let you post the entire thing to Instagram, and I think everybody needs one of those.
Yeah, it's true. You also mentioned PicMonkey the other day, right?
Oh, so PicMonkey is not an app on your phone, though. But
right, it's a desktop app.
It's a desktop, and it's within Facebook, though, too, that you can use it on your desktop. But if you do take a lot of pictures with your phone, it is a great tool, but it's not specifically an app.
Mm-hmm. There's a question from Tommy's mom. Best way to monitor what teens are downloading app-wise, I think you meant to say. The best way for you to find out what your teen is downloading is really to ask her at this point. I would say, unless there's a real concern, it's best to have a conversation about what are the apps she likes. Can she teach you some of her favorites and why? That's probably how you're going to have that line of communication open, because you might find out what's on the phone now, but if you don't have a system to actually understand how or she or he downloads them, then tomorrow might be a whole new set of apps. So it's best to establish that process if you can, would be my advice.
Kids are thinking about their apps. They are their friends. They kind of roll through them sometimes quickly.
Yeah. Stephen Radford asks about maps, and I was going to go to there next. Thanks, Stephen. Tell me a little bit about the difference that you find between Google Maps, which I've used recently so much all over Southern California. It was so helpful between traffic and shortcuts. It was amazing. But tell me about the difference between that and the Nokia Maps, because it's absolutely great, right? Here Maps, is it called?
Right. So Here Maps is on the Nokia, which is that's going to be your Windows devices. I use the Here Maps more. What I really like about that is that I can go in and download maps for the different states or countries ahead of time on my Nokia phone or tablet. And then if I don't have Wi-Fi, so sometimes you get into a spot that's just not good, like in an airport even, when you first get out there, and you need directions, but if you don't have Wi-Fi, you're stuck. With the Nokia Maps, it still lets you utilize those maps and turn-by-turn directions. It has it stored on your device. It's very, very cool that it does that.
Yeah, I love that.
And that's the big thing, is that you don't have to have that Wi-Fi connection, and I really find that helpful. Yeah. Especially too when I go to the lake. Up at our lake, we don't have, it doesn't have a really strong signal. We're going through the country a lot, and if I need to find something out of the way up there, I can use that tool too.
Yeah, somebody's asking about math apps for kids, and if they're little, one of my favorite is called Einstein Math Academy. It's great. It has 4 different game modes, and it's mostly basic stuff, right? Addition, subtraction. The other one I like is called Mathmeteer. So math and then M-A-T-E-E-R. And it was actually voted one of the top 10 best apps for elementary school kids. So those 2 are really good. Try those and see how you like them. But one of the best sources for the best things for each of us is what, people? It's asking your friends. I tend to get some of my best apps standing in line when I'm on the TSA line or waiting to check in for a flight, or at the supermarket. What are the apps that people are using? And I found some of the best resources that way as well. There's a question, Robyn, for you, which I think you may have mentioned, but it would be great to repeat. What is a great photo editing app for Android?
For Android, I like Pixay Pro. That's one of my favorites. And then I'm using a Galaxy Note 3, and I like the built-in editor. So that's another thing to remember, is that most, the smartphones now, a lot of them have really great editing apps built into them now. So check that out. That's an app that's already going to be installed for you.
Yeah, that's very true. There's a great question. People ask this often from Run It by Mom. Eric asks, can I transfer paid apps from my iOS phone to an Android phone? And the answer is no, right?
Correct. You cannot. They're operating system specific. So if you have apps you bought from iTunes, they are not going to work on your Android phone. They're not going to work on your Windows phone. It doesn't mean that same app isn't available in that platform. It's just a different platform you have to have. They just don't all crisscross like that. So you will have to if you buy Words with Friends on your iPhone and then you go to Android, you would have to buy it again if you want the paid version of it without ads on your Android.
Yeah, it's great. Question about the best apps for first-time readers. So your kindergartners about to become first graders. Some of the best ones that I've used or that I've recommended include ABC Pocket Phonics. It's a great app. It does what you would assume. It sounds out the words and the letters. And then there's another one called Play and Sing. And they're fun, and they love to sing along with those. So try those two for your first readers, and that's from Jason. This guy hugs. That guy hugs. I've always loved his Twitter handle.
Jason always asks great questions.
Yeah. But I've also loved to say his name. That guy hugs. And we've met him, right, Robyn? And he does hug.
He does. We're huggers too, so it all works out. Yeah. I wanted to add something in here too, that a lot of restaurants now, the chains, have their own apps, and they can be really helpful if you're looking for nutritional information about the food, making reservations, things like that. One of my most favorite new ones is from Wendy's restaurants, fast food. You're able to go in and pick exactly what you're eating, and it tells you all of the caloric information, the fat grams, everything that's in there. And I did that when my husband and I went, and I ordered something a little more sensible, and my husband ordered something not very sensible, and I looked at it and went, oh! And I showed him what he was eating, and we were shocked. But there's a lot of great restaurant apps if there's someplace you frequent often, or if you're trying to really watch not just your calories but other parts of your diet. Those are great apps to use.
Oh my goodness, one of the best, most recommended apps for losing weight is actually called Lose It.
Yeah.
And I know that a lot of people swear by it. You basically record what you eat, and it gives you your total calorie intake. And you have to remember, no matter how hard you exercise, you can't out-exercise a diet. You absolutely have to monitor what you eat. And so Lose It is one of those apps that helps you monitor that. So it's a very good one, too. Wanted to ask you, I know we've covered music a lot in the past, and we just explained what Shazam does. So I wanted to focus more, because we have a limited time. We have like 1 more minute or so. Tell us a little bit about the usefulness of what they call augmented reality apps. We've talked about it before. I know we can use them for reading signs, translating signs. Say you're in Japan. You use your app to translate that into English so you know what you're looking at in terms of science. What are some of the other applications of augmented reality?
So you talked about it deciphering messages for us, kind of. You can also a lot of times point at it, and you'll get like this 3D. It really feels like you could reach out and touch an item. So there's this great example we saw. It's an advertisement for boots. And you hold your phone over this, part of the ad, and it appears in front of you, and we all stand there and we want to reach out and touch it. It's amazing. Hallmark had a line of cards for a while. I think they still have it, that has augmented reality on it. And so you send the card to someone, and then they hold it up to the camera on their computer or their phone or whatever, and a little, image, again, it looks 3D to us, pops up and does an extra little song or dance or something. And they're a lot of fun to do that way. So we're just at the very tip, I think, of augmented reality, and we're going to start seeing more and more of it.
I love the one that you can look at stars, right? So you put it up in the sky on a clear night, and it'll tell you what constellations you're looking at. So
yeah, we have not tried that yet. However, I'm headed to the lake right after we're done here today, and I have them loaded on both my devices. So I'm going to try them out up in the country. We have lots of stars up there. So
yeah, it's fascinating. I've done it, and you can just turn around. It has to be a clear night. So if you're going camping this summer with the kids, it's a great app to have fun with. And you can show off your knowledge of technology and impress your kids, which is a very important job on this recap. We try to make you the cool parents that are in the know about all the latest in technology. So, okay, so we're going to, Robyn, is there anything else you want to recap in terms of putting it all together before Misty picks our winner today?
The only other advice I have is to really take a moment to go in and rate apps that you use yourself in your app stores, because that helps everybody else. So go in, whether it's good or bad, and give a little bit of information about it. It doesn't take long, but it really does help all the other users out, and you like to see reviews of apps that you're using too. So it's very helpful. Take the time to do that.
Yeah, that's true. If I see a review and I see some of your reviews, and it's really useful. You're absolutely right. And don't be afraid to ask. Don't forget that facebook.com/theonlinemom. You can post any questions that you have there. And Jean, aka Geek Babe, is really great at responding, and so is Robyn and I and the Tech Dad. So feel free, if we didn't get to your question, to ask us there. Although we do scroll through the stream to come back to you if we missed your question and try to answer it here as well. Okay, Misty. So you want to give me the winner of today's icon? Do you have it handy? And how am I going to get it since you're remote today? Are you going to come on the screen, Marty?
They're in the background. They're hiding.
Actually, she just sent it to you, I think.
Okay, great. So we're going to, I'm assuming it's going to come on DM. And yeah, so one of the last things also to tell you is that there's a lot of great specials still that you can pick up at the Verizon store for Father's Day, just to save some money. You know, if you're like scrambling for a gift, I know the Motorola Juice Pack has quite the discount on it, and who cannot use a Motorola Juice Pack? I mean, I love my battery boosters. As I said, I tend to drain my battery every day. In fact, and I have 2 phones. I don't know how I manage that, but I do. So,
I would say my favorite pick for dad, if you have kind of a techie dad who already has a really cool phone, like the Samsung phones, get him a Galaxy Gear. They're phenomenal. It's the wearable. Some people call it a watch. It's really a wearable. But the Galaxy Gear 2 is out now, and they have a couple different ones now. Love, love, love them.
Yeah. Oh, those are great. You're absolutely right. That gear makes you look very James Bond, doesn't it, too?
It does.
Monica, did you get the video?
I got it. And so we have our winner today is Kate Josh 09. So congratulations, you win this amazing, amazing smartphone. It has Kids Corner if you have kids, and you can confidently hand your phone over, let your child play with Kids Corner in a totally safe environment. So congratulations and thank you, everyone. We will see you again next Friday as we feature one of you for a smartphone makeover. Robyn and I will be back, and looking forward to you. Have a great, wonderful Father's Day.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining us.